G'day and welcome to Off-Grid Earth. Well, we're in a place where three of our favourite things combine. We're at Thomson Brook Winery in the Preston Valley in Western Australia, and here we can free camp, we can buy good wine, and the house is off-grid. Not the winery, but the house, and we're going to check that out later. We think it's pretty cool. It's beautiful over here. This is the van. We've got this big green area for the kids to play. It's absolutely awesome. At night it's nice and cool. The frogs are going from the dam, all the birds are around. It's really, really pleasant. And Pam and Terry run the winery, and they're awesome people. And we're going to go in and have a chat with them now. Come on in. So we had our little wine tasting a couple of days back. We really enjoyed that, particularly enjoyed by the cameraman. But we thought we'd ask Pam a little bit more about your wines to start us off.
Yes, so we handpick the grapes, we make the wines here, and we bottle the wines.
Awesome.
We have red and white wines, dry through to sweet in both. We have a red and white port, and we have red and white liqueurs.
Well, there's something there for everybody, I think. And we took away half a dozen bottles, and we took a selection of reds and whites, but I think the favourite one for the cameraman, if anyone knows the cameraman, is this one here, and you can see why. But I'll tell you what was really quite an interesting wine was that Pedro.
The Pedro, yes, the Pedro is a Spanish grape.
Yeah.
Yes, would you like to have a taste?
Well, why not?
So this is a Spanish grape, and they actually make sherry over there with this one. But we just do the wine, don't do a fortified because we've got a few fortifieds. But maybe down the track we'll have a go at doing something with it.
Let's get into a bit of Pedro and have a taste of that one, eh?
Right, certainly.
And I'll tell you what's really awesome about this little winery is that it's quiet. And you can come in here, you can spend some really good time having a good tasting in leisure, and learning about all the wines without having crowds around you and whatever else. Here, we've just happened to be here where we've had the place largely to ourselves.
Yes, that's right.
And there is a lot to do in the area as well. We're going to go and do a bit more today,
yes,
including the dried fruit factory,
yeah, the solar fruit,
which is nearby.
Yes,
and
only a couple of k's away, and we've got the fun park, free fun park for the children.
There you go.
In town, we've got Gnomesville, Frogs Hollow, so there's plenty to do.
That's right. So if you come for a camp here, then you can certainly get yourself busy for a couple of days.
Yes.
And,
yeah, because we are the centre of the or the heart of the southwest.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Well, it's past 10 o'clock in the morning. We're all right. Let's get into it. It's harder to place that one. It's quite different.
But yes, it's quite a sweet grape.
And probably, your Lambrusco lovers would probably love it, but it's not really sweet. It's
not sickly.
It's fruity, sweet, but it's sort of got that dry back palate, doesn't it?
Yes.
Thought it was pretty cool. Try some of the Pedro. So one of the really cool things about this winery as well is that it's around earth wall building. And Pam, it's worked pretty well in terms of temperature control for your wine.
Yes, we had it because it's thicker than the double brick, and to keep the wines in storage at a even temperature.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot longer to heat up. So we've found it's been absolutely fantastic.
It feels really smooth. It feels really finished. Doesn't feel
that's lovely.
It can crumble or fall away or anything like that, does it?
No, we love the texture and the smoothness.
Yeah.
We were hoping to have the house built in the same, but unfortunately we've got a bridge that has to be crossed, an old bridge, and we knew it wouldn't take the weight of the truck.
Couldn't hold the truck.
No, as it was, we had a problem with the truck with the plasterboard for the house that went down the bridge instead of over it. The
adventures. It would have been good to put it all together up at the house, wouldn't it? To have the off-grid system and the rammed earth and everything up there, but
yeah,
we've got these different features in different parts of the property anyway. So you guys are also off-grid. The winery's not off-grid. You've got Grid Connect solar here, a few kilowatts that helps offset the power bills down here.
Yes, that's right.
And up on the hill, you're living up on the hill, and you've been off-grid up on the hill for 12 years?
No, I would say 15.
15 years.
15 years.
So we're going to go up and check out the off-grid system up on the hill and see how all that looks. So the design of this house and its location make a big difference to the need for, especially air conditioning. There's a cool breeze, the verandas keep it cool, and Terry and Pam have a portable air conditioner, which doesn't draw a great deal of power, but generally these verandas make a huge difference to keeping that heat out. These panels, BP era, probably 140, 150 watt panels, I think. 18 panels, probably 3.5, 4 kilowatts up there. And look, they're old enough to have lichen and moss growing off the bottom of them. So they've seen their day, still going strong. Absolutely love it. Yeah. They've also got the wind turbine. Now that wind turbine looks like it probably needs a little bit more grunt in the wind to turn it, this is probably about as least windy as it gets up here. But that is constantly putting charge in as well, and it would be running most of the year and adding an extra charge. So between the two, these guys have never wanted for power. It's really definitely in my world what I might describe as old school, but look, the technology, it's old Selectronic stuff. Selectronic are great, so this is still going strong. And the charge controllers are still working. These batteries are probably a pretty good battery at the time, Enersun wet cell battery. And these need topping up with distilled water, and the guys, Terry does that quite often, as you can see by all these distilled water bottles here. But the cool thing about this is this system is still going and still providing power and still allowing Terry and Pam to be comfortable in their house 15 years on. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you imagine what some of our tech now that is supposed to have 10-year warranties on lithium, and with good designs can do. We can. This is showing us that we could potentially get out to 20 years plus on some of the technologies we have now for system designs. So really cool. Check this out over here. All right, so you've got to lift these up, put your funnel in, pour your water in to keep them topped up. A lot more maintenance, a lot more hands-on for this type of off-grid system than the newer types of off-grid system. But Pam, it's done well. It's worked for you, hey?
Yes, it certainly has. It's the best thing that we ever did. We're very impressed, very happy with
Haven't had a power bill up here for 15 years.
We've never ever had one, no. And which is great, and particularly with the energy going up.
Yep.
But no, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's the best thing we ever did.
And has it hindered your ability to do things that you want to do in the house?
No, it has not hindered us at all. Having said that, when it is a dark, cloudy day, and you've probably got maybe the second day when it's a bit cloudy and overcast, I have to keep an eye on the readings
on the voltage
to see if I can put the electric kettle on or the iron.
Okay.
There's things like that take up more energy.
Yeah. So just a bit of mindfulness around your usage on those days. And you've always got the generator that you can start as well.
We have got the generator that we can start up to boost it. Yes. which is great.
But look, whilst ever that power's still coming out of the wall and the system's still functioning, you don't need to change anything.
No.
We could be here in 5 and 10 years from now and we're still going.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Awesome. How's that for off-grid, hey? And again, I think because probably use some reasonable components going back that far. Certainly we use Selectronic now, and the advancements in their systems and their technologies mean that things that we put in now, they're going to be there 20, 30 years on. So it's really, really awesome to see. So love all this old school sort of stuff. Check out the cupboards. The cupboards are just hanging in there.
Fall down. Just wondering what's pushing them over.
Leaning tower of cupboard right there. Well, Terry takes a lot of pride in his garden. It's worth noting that he's been a little bit on the back foot with his health lately, so his garden's not at the standard that he probably would otherwise like, but we've still got some spinach and tomatoes and onions and everything coming on, and you can see it would have been pretty flush in its day. Yeah. Only take a little bit of legwork and some. I'd like to get in there and give him a hand and rip it all out and get it cracking. Miss my garden. I mentioned about the tank. So the tank, that's rainwater.
That is rainwater. The rainwater from the house is in that tank there, attached to the house, tank, yeah. And we pump it up to the
diesel
hill.
Pump or with electric pump?
Electric.
Yeah.
Pump it up to the house and gravity feed it down.
Right. Okay. So normal rainwater there, gravity fed from there, so you don't have to be running the pump all the time.
No, that's right.
Just run it. You can run it
when
you
load
want to
yes, if it rains, to make sure that there's room in this tank for the rainwater. Pumps up there and yeah,
so that's a pretty cool thing to do as well with off-grid design, is just use the head pressure to run water into the house, which means you can pick the time that you use the electric power to pump from the bottom tank to the top tank, so you don't have to be constantly draining power when you're using water, and if it's a cloudy day or whatever, you're not having to put pressure on your system. So that's a really good idea. And of course, to water around the gardens, they've got the other tank over here which they pump up from the main dam, and that means they've got an abundant water to do the gardening if required. So all in all, experienced off-gridders.
And we wouldn't go any other way. It's been fantastic.
Anyone thinking about going off-grid, you can really be sure that the technology, even from back then, is working. So the technology from today, wow, awesome. So thanks, Pam.
It's quite all right.
It's been wonderful showing us around, and we really enjoyed it. So we'll head back down, and we will say over and out from Off Grid Earth.